them this season. They've actually lost 3 of their last 8 games. We put that Hibs and Rangers match alongside the defeat in the Champions League to Bayern Munich here. And up against the Hearts team in an excellent run of just 2 defeats in their last 14 since losing the Tynecastle derby on Boxing Day. The defeats coming at Easter Road and at home to Rangers, though they felt aggrieved to have picked up nothing from those 2 games. And incredibly, over the last 10 matches in the Premiership, in the form table, Hearts have picked up the same number of points as Celtic. So this will be a difficult challenge for both sides today. And it will be Celtic to kick off left to right, shooting towards the Lisbon line stand, the east end of the ground, as we watch from the middle of the main stand here, just to the right of the halfway line, up high above Neil Critchley's technical area. And it's Celtic in the green and white hoops. Arne Engels rolls it back to Callum McGregor in the centre circle as they take on a Hearts side wearing the maroon shirts, white shorts, maroon socks. They'll shoot towards the Jock Stein stand, right to left, as Carter Vickers picks up on this near side and rolls it back to Sinisalo, who makes his league debut for Celtic in the absence of the injured Kasper Schmeichel, who picked up a shoulder injury playing for Denmark against Portugal in the Nations League last Sunday night. And Paddy Bonner is excited to see what he can offer.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of touches so far in this opening salvo of the game. He's had about 3 or 4 short back passes just to give him maybe a little bit of confidence on the ball and that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him, Liam, to see has he got the qualities that he could maybe be a future goalkeeper for Celtic over the number of years.
Up comes Celtic down the left of the Hearts box. Jota's cross is headed away, and the clearance completed by young Adam Forrester on the far side, and it goes out for a throw-in to Celtic, which Jeffrey Schlupp will take. It is Sinisalo in goal, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Nawrocki, Schlupp, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn, Jota, Maida. The Hearts team, Gordon in goal, Steinvender, Nielsen and Milne, who makes his debut, Forrester and Penrice either side, Devlin Beningame in the middle with Shanklin supporting Wilson and Kabangu. Kabangu's been an excellent signing, 8 goals in 11 appearances on loan from Union San Gilloise, and he'll be a danger to Celtic potentially this afternoon. Here is Johnston rolling it back to Carter Vickers. They came up against each other at international level, playing in the CONCACAF Nations League third place playoff. The Canadians and Johnston emerged 2-1 winners in that one. They're both had lost their respective semi-finals as that slipped out for a Celtic throw-in about level with the edge of the centre circle in front of the north stand. Not great conditions, but unlike perhaps we're hearing from Paisley and from Greenock, perhaps not quite as exposed here at Celtic Park to the elements.
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? It'll make for a quick game. The ball move around on that pitch very, very quickly. It's a big day. We talked already about Sinisalo for goalkeepers in general. You've got to be sure, happy to get a good first touch, especially with the gloves and that from that perspective when it's bad weather conditions. But the Hearts have set up, obviously they've set up with a 3 at the back that it will turn into 5 at times, but it allows them then to keep the 2 up front with Shanklin then supporting them in that sort of almost number 10 position where he takes care of Callum McGregor, but has that forward trust also from that position.
Hearts have been awarded a free kick in a decent position as well. It's a couple of yards from the near side touchline, almost level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box out on this near side, and Penrice is over it. He's had a fine season. He arrived from Livingston last summer, and he's going to wind up a left-footed free kick here. A movement from Kabangu towards the penalty spot, comes back into an onside position. Penrice swings it in. The Hearts header is won there by Steinvender, and it comes back towards Sinisalo, who gets a touch of the ball, clutching it from underneath his crossbar. Goalless in the opening few minutes here. He's bowled out to Jota on the far side. He goes early, he goes long looking for Maida, but Nielsen allows it to drift across his body, and it's back with Craig Gordon, who had a very profitable 6 years here, though I do remember he had to convince Brendan Rodgers he was able to play the way that Rodgers wanted Celtic to play. You might remember he brought in Doris de Vries at the time, and he dropped Craig Gordon, who'd been playing under Ronnie Dyla the previous 2 seasons, because he felt de Vries was better with the ball at his feet.
Are you questioning Craig Gordon's career at Celtic? He had an unbelievable career.
Very much not, Packy, but a man who's more learned than me in these
Yeah,
what
happened?
Brendan Rodgers was the one who was questioning him, not me.
I think what happened at the very start of Brendan Rodgers' career with Celtic, and Craig was there, that they almost concentrated a little bit higher up the pitch to get all of that right, and then the last bit that he wanted to get right was almost building the game from the back, and that came after, and then Craig had to adapt, and he adapted quite well. He's not brilliant.
Well, Kuhn's made a mess of it down this left-hand side, and Hearts might be in here. And it's Harry Milne who's won it back out wide left of the Celtic box for Cabangu. Gets the break of the ball against Kuhn. He's down at the byline, pulls it back across, bounces around the 6-yard box and emerges at the feet of Carter Vickers. Kuhn's under pressure again, urged by the Celtic fans to get rid of it. He was actually fouled in the end, so it will be a Celtic free kick at the edge of their own box, but Nicholas Kuhn got away with one there.
Yeah, he does that. He comes directly to the player on the ball, almost comes down the line in a straight line, and the defender, if he gets tight enough to him, then he can outmuscle him, and which happened on that occasion. Milne took the ball off him, and then of course they were high up the pitch, Hearts, and they broke into that sort of left wing back position, and there was an opportunity for them.
Sinisalo with the clearance. He was in the Finland squad for the World Cup qualifiers as Hearts win it back. No foul on Engels. Cabangu, in fact there is a free kick given eventually.
Yeah, I think it was the fourth official that called that one. I don't think the referee seen it, Kevin Clancy, and he didn't get the ball, and Engels was taken out, and it was definitely a free kick, and that's good collaboration between the officials, I've got to say.
Big early goal at Pittodrie has been scored by Motherwell, and Callum Slattery's been in good form recently, has opened the scoring, and St Mirren have gone 1-0 up at home to Kilmarnock. A goal from Keelan Boyd Muntz, another who's been on the score sheet recently. So two midfielders getting the first couple of goals in the Premiership this afternoon, and it is Leeds for St Mirren at home to Kilmarnock, and for Motherwell at Pittodrie, Sinisalo knocks it out of play for a throw into Hearts over on the far side.
Yeah,
that's not good news for Hearts, that. Motherwell scoring.
No, but Hearts have started this game off fairly decently. They're high up the pitch. They're putting a little bit of pressure on Celtic. They're playing that sort of almost mid-block.
Hearts cross from the right into the Celtic box, clear by Nawrocki. It has been a good start by the visitors. Nielsen in the centre circle to Harry Milne, knocks it forward, looking for Cabangu and finds him with the left foot. Cabangu at the left angle of the Celtic box, goes down, fouled by Carter Vickers. Free kick Hearts here. Again, it's about level with the edge of the arc of the Celtic box.
Yeah, another good opportunity for them to put that ball into that position between the back four, or you probably be a back 6 or 7 from a dead ball position in between that and the goalkeeper, just to test the goalkeeper out and get players on the end of it. But Hearts they've been high up in Celtic's half for almost the whole of this start of this game.
And another chance for Penrice, a little bit closer to the box this time from the far side touchline. And Penrice will flight this in again. Cabangu makes the early run, goes back into an onside position. Penrice bends it in, and it's decent. It's headed away though at the back post by Nawrocki, and out on this near side for a throw in. And here the Hearts fans have been very encouraged with the opening 7 minutes here at Celtic Park, where it remains nothing each. Penrice with the throw into Cabangu, controls with the chest. Kuhn nicks it off him. Johnston plays it off Cabangu and goes down, and it will be a throw in to Celtic as Johnston finds Maida out onto the touchline here for Kuhn. Devlin gets in the way and wins it back.
Yeah, Celtic just need to get a hold of the ball and start getting a few passes and just trying to control the game. They haven't been allowed to do that so far with the way Hearts have started. I talked about the two up front, and then with Shanklin joining them, and then you've got when you've got possession of the ball, you've also got your wing backs who've pushed high up the pitch on either side also, so they're kind of pinning Celtic in a little bit, and Celtic struggling to get a hold of the ball.
Hearts have it over on the right hand side. It's Beningame in the midfield, just over on that right hand side touchline, down the line for Wilson. Challenge from Schlupp, out for a Hearts throw in. James Wilson, who became one of the youngest ever Scotland senior internationals in the modern era. He is the youngest. Back pre-World War II to find anyone younger than the 18-year-old making his debut for the senior Scotland side, and that will have done him the world of good, I would imagine. His chest would have been puffed out the next morning, despite the fact that clearly it was a disappointing outcome for the team as a whole. But for him personally, it doesn't matter. It was a huge moment in his rapid rise. As Cabangu picks up, he gets it out left here, Penrice. Celtic have made a sloppy start to this game. Cabangu taking on Carter Vickers. Has he won the corner? Yes, he has. Hearts corner on this near side. Celtic sleeping here.
Yeah, they've also sussed that Sinisalo is right-footed, and and you've got James Wilson closing him down on his left, keeping him almost centred, that he can't pass that ball down the sides and beat that press from Hearts, and they're trying to play through the middle and they're getting caught on the ball a little bit.
Another chance here then for Hearts to get the ball into the box. And Celtic have brought everyone bar Kuhn back to defend this corner. So the rain whips around the stadium. And it comes then, right-footed corner from Milne, and a brilliant save, Sinisalo, to deny Lewis Nielsen, who hit it first time. Sinisalo makes the save, and that is a serious warning to the champions there.
Yeah, that ball should never have been allowed to get that distance, to drop in almost into the 6-yard box and somebody getting their foot on it. That should have been headed almost level with the near post. But it was a good save from the goalkeeper, good reaction. He had to make the big save. We talked about it. Is that the critical part of a Celtic goalkeeper? I agree, it is. You've got to make the save when called upon, and he did. Came up with trumps on that occasion.
Here comes Shanklin winning it back. Low ball across from the byline, right hand side, cut out by Nawrocki. Jota prevents the corner. Hearts are coming back at them here though.
Just can't get out, Celtic, can they?
This has been as good a start to a game by an away team here as I've seen domestically. Penrice heads it on, Cabangu flicks it in field, and it's pinched back by the hosts. Now it's with the Tate, out to Engels on this near side. Engels with the long ball, Maida's got in behind here, Maida just bounces away from him. Was that a foul? Right on the edge of the box, Maida goes down. Challenge from Nielsen. The Celtic players aren't appealing quite as wildly as the supporters, which probably tells a story. 11 in, Celtic 0, Hearts 0.
Yeah, that's just a danger for Hearts, of course, if Celtic do get decent control of the ball, which they did on that occasion, and Engels played the ball over the top for Maeda's pace and just bounced high and beyond him. I didn't think it was a penalty. I think it was a coming together more than anything else, because he wasn't ever really in control of the ball.
Callum McGregor rolling it to Schlupp over on the left hand side down the touchline for Jota. St Mirren have gone 2-0 up. Roland Idowu has scored from the penalty spot. St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 0. Aberdeen 0, Motherwell 1. Goalless Hibs St Johnstone, they're a few minutes behind this one. And his goal is here too. Later Dundee Rangers is the 5:30 kickoff. Kuhn on this near side. Milne with the challenge. Kuhn emerges with it. Dinks it over Penrice, driving down the right hand side of the box. Good recovery by Harry Milne though. He slides in, makes the challenge on Kuhn, but it is at the expense of Celtic's first corner of the match. Almost 12 in.
Yeah, first attacking from Celtic in this match, and it was through Nicholas Kuhn. He got a little break, but he got away from Penrice, and Milne had to get the tackle in, and he had to be sure in the tackle, but he's given him the corner.
A Muirhead goal as Arbroath 1-0 up on Cove Rangers. The top two in the as it stands table. Engels with the corner, and it comes, it's flicked half away, bobbling around the penalty spot, and then there's a shout for handball, and Kevin Clancy has given the free kick to Hearts for an earlier challenge, presumably.
Yeah, I just
unless it came off a Celtic arm first.
Yeah, it'll be checked, but I thought he was going to give it the penalty there. Obviously you can't see in among a crowd of players. You would be hoping that it's the right call, but he's given the free kick. I think he was a bit late on his call.
We're getting a chance to potentially see a little replay of this. But anyway, they're just having a little check of that. Greg Aitken's the VAR this afternoon for this one. So we'll wait and see what comes of that. But initially Kevin Clancy awarded the free kick to Hearts. So he's in dialogue right now with the VAR. As Aberdeen equalise, Alfie Dorrington has got it. Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1 at Pittodrie. Sell out there, and they are checking for possible penalty here.
Yeah, he obviously gave the free kick before.
No penalty.
Before
no penalty.
He called a free kick after the penalty incident for Hearts, but obviously that was the initial bit just before the penalty. But if he didn't give the free kick, I think that was a penalty.
Well, watching it. Go. Yeah. Well, the VAR clearly has just verified that the whistle had gone before the arm was struck.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, 1-1 at Pittodrie now. St Mirren still 2-0 up on Kilmarnock, goalless at Easter Road as it is here. The Hearts had to sweat for a little moment there. Goalless in the 3 championship games, as I said. Arbroath have gone 1-0 up at Gayfield against Cove. That's the only goal in League 1, and it's goalless across the board in League 2. Hearts have the ball here, right of the centre circle, with Nielsen, long with the right foot, out to this left side, looking for Penrice, headed away by Johnston. It's back onto the header forward by Milne. It's Cabangu driving down the left-hand side. Shanklin and Wilson in the middle. The cross is a bit too much on it for James Wilson, though. He's holding his head in his hands, which suggests he kind of feels perhaps he could have thrown himself at that one and made some kind of contact. 14.5, 0-0.
Yeah, that's a couple of times now. Alistair Johnston's got almost caught on the ball. He hasn't been able to get his pass away, and Penrice was on him, and Cabangu put a brilliant ball into the box. It was just probably a foot or two too high for James Wilson coming into the back post.
Wilson was almost in there, but McGregor managed to get between he and the ball and get it back to his keeper. And it shifted out to Nawrocki, then onto the left-hand touchline for Sloop. And it's good play. He steers himself away from Devlin, and still he goes and moves it to his right for Johnston. Good footwork from him away from Cabangu. He finds Engels on this near side. Engels side foot ball back into his own half for McGregor, right of the centre circle. McGregor fires it with the left foot to Rio Hatate. Hatate then through, looking for Engels, helps it on its way into the box, but Milne's there to clear for Hearts, up towards Cabangu, who goes down. No free kick initially, but yes, he has given it. Kevin Clancy's one of these referees. He likes to give himself just a second or so, just to make sure he's making the right decision. He's quite contemplative in that regard.
Yeah, and I think that's decent refereeing to a point. Just gives you a second just to think. Don't be too reactive, and then suddenly you've made a decision. Maybe it's a wrong decision. So yeah, it's his experience, of course. But again, Cardiff Vickers coming in behind Cabangu and just almost catching him. And it's good centre forward play. You've got to say, you just got to. He's on the halfway line. You don't have to tackle him. He's not going anywhere. Just keep tight. The turn.
He's been excellent, Cabangu. He's Hearts' top scorer. This is just his 12th game, which again, I suppose, just points to the ills of the opening third of the campaign for Edinburgh's Maroon and White. It's picked up since then, of course, and bearing in on a battle for third spot if they can secure a top 6 berth. Sloop on the far side for Celtic, though, fires it forward now. It's with McGregor, look at the roller in behind, and he's found Maida. Maida's in! Maida scores! Of course he does! The golden run continues, and it's a wonderful calm finish, rolled into the bottom right corner by Daizen Maida, who notches goal number 29 of the season. And it is Celtic 1, Heart of Midlothian 0, and make that 14 goals in just over 11 games for the start of the season for the champions.
I've got to say, it's a brilliant goal. It's a really brilliant goal. Again, Callum McGregor, the architect in the back, giving it back to the goalkeeper, working it, playing one touch, passing through from Cardiff Vickers to Sinisalo out to the left hand side. Nawrocki playing it very quickly, picking out then McGregor, keeps running, gets himself into the space higher up the pitch, and then picks it. A brilliant pass for Maeda in behind the back 3, and then he goes and finishes absolutely perfectly as Craig Gordon comes out trying to narrow the angle right into the corner. Brilliant goal all the length of the pitch, and that man Maeda, what a season he's having. Unbelievable season.
And he's now just 5 goals shy of Kyogo Furahashi's best goal-scoring season at this club.
I did say, of course, it's brilliant, and I did say from Hearts' perspective, Liam, the press, yes, they press Celtic really high for 15 minutes, and most of it, almost all of the time, they've got it right, but you just don't get the distances right or the angles right. Celtic will play through you or around you, in this occasion around you, and then their ability then to go and play very quickly high up the pitch.
Well, I mean, it's just so typical for the visiting team here. You settle well, you're playing well, you've had a chance, you lose a goal. Celtic in front. Kuhn finds Sloop at the edge of the box, encouraged to shoot, shows too much of it to Cammy Devlin though. Devlin knocks it low forward to James Wilson, who goes across the halfway line. He's got Kabangu ahead of him. That's where the pass goes. Kabangu now battling with Carter Vickers, comes off the Celtic defender and out for a Hearts throw-in. It'll be difficult to psychologically recover from losing a goal here. Everything that goes with it when you come to this arena and you find yourself behind, even though you've played well in the game, you've got to try and dust yourself down pretty quickly. 19 in, Celtic 1-0 up.
Yeah, there's that risk and reward. You know, you want to go and press Celtic. If you drop off Celtic and allow them to control the game, and you kind of retreat into your own half, then Celtic will pick you off eventually. So you take a risk to go and press them, and you do it. But there's a time then you say, right, okay, we've done that bit now. Let's just consolidate for a little bit. Just drop off. You can't keep doing it, because eventually Celtic will cut you up, and that's what exactly happened in that situation. And it was a brilliant goal.
Well, the ball was perfect from McGregor, wasn't it?
It was a great ball, but the way that he almost stepped out of his position as a holding midfield player and got himself forward into a position where you probably would see a Tati picking up. He's recognised the situation, got himself in there, and then the pass, you know, in behind the defender for Maeda, just to almost not even, you know, it was just, he just keeps running, and he's onto it, and then he has the ability, perfect ability to go and finish beyond Craig Gordon.
League 2 leaders Peterhead are still goalless at Station Park against Forfar, but some good news for them, because their title rivals East Fife have gone behind at home to the Spartans in League 2. Still just that one goal in League 1. That's the only goal in League 2, incidentally. It's a Premiership where the goals are this afternoon. 1-1 at Pittodrie, 1-0 Celtic here, 2-0 St Mirren at home to Kilmarnock. It remains goalless in Leith. Throw into Celtic, level with their own 18-yard line here. It's bowled by Johnston to Engels, and Engels fouled by Penrice. You'd said to me before you were a little bit concerned with the travel that Daisen Maeda had done. He was away on international duty with Japan, who secured their place. In fact, they were the first team to qualify through the qualifiers to get to the World Cup. Obviously there's 3 host countries already there. He started the second game, did Maeda. It was against Saudi Arabia, as Hearts look to win a free kick in the edge of the Celtic box, and Kabangu fouled, and that's a free kick. It's just slightly left of centre, and this is a real opportunity for the visitors. But Maeda certainly didn't look slouchy there as he trademark run in behind the defence, and the finish was brilliant. No. The Hearts have a chance here.
No, absolutely, Maeda. You know, that centre forward position probably suits him. He doesn't have to do running up and down the line, and that he's just working from the centre position, so coming short or running in behind. Nice short 10-yard 15-yard run, so that suits him. But this is a good chance. Again, Carter Vickers needs to settle down. He's almost up against Kabanga, who is a physical type player, and he's just given away another needless free kick on the edge of the box by diving in, and Kabanga winning the free kick. But Penrith, this is set up for Penrith here. He's got a beautiful left foot on him.
Forrester's there too with the right. It's one of the two. 4-man Celtic wall. Jota's lying in behind it. It's Penrice straight into the wall, comes back to Penrice. His effort's blocked and headed away by Engels, only half away though and over the bar. Leaning back there was Steinbender, who hit it with a left foot. It will be a goal kick to Celtic. We're 1-0 up as we approach the end of the first quarter of this one in a soggy Glasgow. Carter Vickers rolling it to Sinisalo, who made that really important save as they play it short at the back there. It's Wilson challenging. Nawrocki goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah,
just a little bit off it here, Celtic. Yes, they're 1-0 up, but at the back they've been caught short a couple of times. As Kuhn drives forward across the halfway line to his left for Hatate. Now with Sloop. Sloop rolls it out to Jota in the left angle of the Hearts box, looking for an opening. Rolls it back to Hatate to the left, short ball. Sloop level with the penalty spot and finds Jota, who goes back to McGregor. Out to Jota on the far side. Knocks the ball into the midfield there for Alistair Johnston. He'll then turn it out to Kuhn on the right touchline as it switched from left to right. It's Kuhn level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box. Gets the give and go there with Engels. Chip ball for Maeda off the post, and the rebound last home by Jota. Celtic score twice in 5 minutes, and it's Jota on the rebound. Maeda was unlucky with the header. as it bounced off Gordon's post. The Hearts goalkeeper complaining to the referee as Jota dumped it home into the net. Celtic 2, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Yeah, it was a lovely little ball. The ball initially comes to Kuhn out in the wide right, and he cuts in. He gives it to Johnson, who was waiting for the little run in behind. Again, is that man Maeda running in behind it. Of course, it will be checked to see was he maybe onside or offside. I think he's onside this time. It was a lovely little chip pass, and he gets a really good header on it. A difficult header, I've got to say. Comes off the post and it goes right across for that man Jota just to get in very quickly and finish. But it was a lovely little ball, good header, I've got to say. Not an easy header for Maeda, and there he was, Jota, to pick up the pieces and put Celtic in a commanding position from a game. You're right, Liam, they weren't actually in control of the game at all in this encounter, but they've ended up now 2-0 up, which is incredible.
Just so Celtic, isn't it? Hearts have it on the right. Shankland to Wilson, right hand side of the box. Celtic clear. Doubly difficult for Hearts now. Devlin slipping and sliding, can't get onto it. Hatate with a long ball. Nielsen will have to be careful here. Kuhn's right in behind him. He does well to nod it back to Gordon. Not sure what Craig Gordon was complaining about. As Cabangu's fouled by Carter Vickers, just over on this near side. The Celtic fans are furious.
Yeah, his
team's 2-0 up.
Yeah, but listen, he's diving in every single time. He has to make contact with the ball. Cabangu's doing his job. He's getting in front of him. He's going down, and the referee's given us probably 4 or 5 free kicks now. Carter Vickers has got to be very careful that he doesn't end up in the referee's book.
Some goals to tell you about in League One. It remains goalless in the 3 in the Championship. Of course, the Trust Trophy final tomorrow. League One, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 0. It is Queen of the South 0, Cali Thistle 1, and Stenhousemuir 0, Montrose 1. The only game goalless in League One is Annan Kelty. And League 2, just that 1 goal, Spartans at East Fife. In the Premiership, 2-0 Celtic here. Hibs have gone 1-0 up at home to St Johnstone. Easter Road, that game is a few minutes behind us, but Hibs have broken the deadlock in that one. It's 1-1 between Aberdeen and Motherwell, and 2-0 St Mirren at home to Kilmarnock. Later, Dundee Rangers is a 5:30 kickoff. Sloop on the left for Celtic, up the line for Jota midway inside his own half. And it's Hearts winning it back over there in the far side, and Forrester's dink ball forward towards the Celtic box is headed clear. It breaks to Nicholas Kuhn. That was Jota's 4th goal since returning to the club. Hearts win a free kick in the centre circle.
Yeah, I didn't think that one was a free kick, and I think the crowd probably has reacted because of all the other free kicks. But I thought Nicholas Kuhn won that ball quite easily, and he's gone into him and that. But again, it's a free kick. He's on the halfway line, and just listen.
I'm astonished by the reaction. I know there's contentious decisions across a football pitch. Celtic are 13 points clear at the top of the Premiership and 2-0 up in the day, and yet the howls of derision for the decision is deafening.
Yeah, I know. And listen, it's because there've been so many free kicks, but most of the free kicks, I've got to say, are legitimate free kicks. And that one, maybe you could call it, you could say he's obviously won the ball and he's gone into him, but that's it. The rest of them, I think, were all free kicks, so the crowd shouldn't, as you say, shouldn't be complaining.
Hearts have it in the centre circle with Beningame, who rolls it out to Penrice. I haven't seen Beningame on the ball too much, despite Hearts' decent start to proceedings, which will feel a long time ago now for Neil Critchley, who's frustrated down there because they've given it away really cheaply on this occasion as it's rolled back to Sinisalo.
Yeah, most of the play actually, Liam, from Hearts has been down the sides, so they're not building through the middle too much, and that they don't really have to.
Maida finds Johnston, good touch by the Canadian, back to Maida, right hand side of this Hearts box. Erich Kuhn finds Johnston, his ball across, cut out by Nielsen. It will be a corner to Celtic on this near side. He's up there, joint top of the assist charts coming into this weekend, Alistair Johnston. You can see why, the positions he gets himself into.
Yeah, listen, he does it really well, and he's got that good relationship with Kuhn, and he makes them sort of either an overlap or an inside lap that he gets in, a run that he gets into the byline. And
In comes the corner, just evaded Johnston. Hearts get it half away. Hatate hits it on the half volley. He skews it high and wide, and it will stay Celtic 2, Hearts 0 on 28.5. Junior Hoylett got that Hibs goal, incidentally. They lead St Johnstone by 1-0 at Easter Road. And there's one Premiership game tomorrow. It's a 2:30 kick-off in Dingwall as Ross County host Dundee United, live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland across the frequencies. Sports Scene's highlights both evenings, of course, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel and repeated later on BBC One. It's back with Carter Vickers here. He rolls it right to left of the circle for Nawrocki, who goes back to Sinisalu. When called upon, Packy, with the scores at 0-0, pulled off a really important save to deny Lewis Nielsen after that promising start by the visitors.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with that, and he was involved in the build-up for the goal also. So from that perspective, he's fitted in quite well, and they're trusting him. They're playing a lot of short passes back to him, and he looks comfortable enough at this moment in time.
Queen of the South are level in League One against Cally Thistle. That is 1-1 when Crows have gone 2-0 up at Ochilview against Stenhousemuir. It's with Craig Gordon at the edge of his box. Hits it first time with the left foot, long into the Celtic half. Carter Vickers under no pressure at the moment as he nods it back to Sinisalo, who will hold on, and he will be very keen, I would imagine, to impress, no matter how long the absence is. A shoulder injury is pretty troublesome though, Packy, as you will know, for a goalkeeper. It's one of those that could potentially keep you out longer than if it was an outfield player.
Well, any time you've got to move your hands and arms, your shoulder comes into play. Either you dive and hit the ground, or you have to go for a cross, or you have to make the big save. That area is always under pressure, and if it's sore or there's any sort of bruising in there, it's going to take time to get it out.
Sinisalo clipping it out to the left, looking for Sloop, but it's a misunderstanding and it's out for a Hearts throw-in. Yeah,
he's very right-footed. That's the only thing I'll say. If you're up against him, you know that you can close him down on his left side, and he's under a little bit of pressure. So is Nawrocki, by the way, and Brendan did reference that in his pre-match talk, that he prefers somebody with a left foot. So I'd say Trusty or Scales, as soon as they're fit, they'll probably come into the team to help that build up down that side.
31 on the clock, Celtic 2, Hearts 0 here. And it is Shanklin on the far side, wins the throw-in off Sloop, who has made that left back position his own. That's for sure. Greg Taylor looks to be on his way out of the club at the end of the season, having been pretty much the longest, well, he's been the longest serving left back since Kieran Tierney left. And of course, we are all waiting on Tierney coming back to Celtic Park for the start of next season. Shanklin picks up down the right, driving forward, little back heel for Wilson. Low ball across, cut out by Nawrocki. Breaks Jota's way, a little bit fortunate, but he's given it away, Jota. Shanklin rolls it back to Devlin, now it's with Beningame, switches out low on this left side with Penrice. In behind Johnston for Kabangu, plays it across, and Nawrocki made a bit of a meal of that, and he's fortunate that Shanklin wasn't expecting him to do so at the back post, and Celtic scramble it clear. It stays 2-0 to the hosts on 32.
Could have went anywhere. It comes on a good play again between Kabangu, who's really lively up front. He's running all over the place. He worked down this left hand side with Penrice, got in behind and put that ball across, and Nawrocki didn't really know what to do with the cross, and he just almost flailed at it, and it's come off the side of his foot and nearly fell into the path of Wilson down that right hand side.
Still goalless in the 3 championship matches. You can keep up to date with the scorelines at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Of course, the live text is very much up and running there as Harry Milne picks up and finds Devlin. Milne's debut, he arrived from Partick Thistle in the winter window. He's had to wait his time, shrug off an injury, and actually settled pretty well in the game, as Hearts did as a whole, but they find themselves 2 down. Steinbender wins the ball on the far side, stabs it clear, and it's picked up by Sloop on the left touchline, and it's infield to McGregor, who goes back to Nawrocki.
Yeah, Hearts will be disappointed because they did start off the game really well, took a bit of a risk pressing Celtic, but they've got three in the back. They've got three centre halves who should be able to deal with one player, and they actually should have been able to deal with the space that McGregor picked up as the ball's so high up at the Celtic goalkeeper. They should be stepping out there and killing that space.
Luke's got the break of the ball, into the box he goes, he shoots, saved by the left foot of Gordon. Breaks back out to Jota on the far side. He knocks it back to McGregor. He was a bit fortunate with he had an option to play Jota in left hand side of the box, went himself, come off the defender, but it broke kindly back to Schlupp, but his effort saved by the former Celtic keeper. And now it's Johnston to Engels and out to Kuhn. Better from Celtic this. Kuhn has it level with the penalty spot, finds Johnston in the byline, pulls it back. It's going to break to the edge of the area for Schlupp, who hits it well wide on the left foot first time, and it will stay Celtic 2, Hearts 0. Just a little over 10 minutes of the opening 45 to play.
Yeah, that little run again from Johnson, that from an inside sort of almost right position where nobody's tracking him, and he gets to the byline, and it's just a little pass from Kuhn, and they got away with it again, Hearts. But that's the area that's more concerning, is that they're not being able to deal with the runs beyond the back three into those spaces.
Hibs 2-0 up. Now Martin Boyle's got their second against St Johnstone, adding to that Hoylett goal. Haven't lost a league game since the 7th of December here. It's a remarkable record they're stringing together, so that's not going to make the Hearts fans feel any better. Hibs looking to put some more daylight between them in the league, between the two Edinburgh sides, and Hearts finished so far ahead of Hibs last season. An incredible turnaround. As it stands, there would be 8 points between them. Hibs sitting in third spot, Hearts clinging on to 6th place. As Motherwell pegged back by Aberdeen at Pittodrie. Slattery had given them the lead. Dorrington with his first goal for Aberdeen on loan from Spurs with the equaliser 8 minutes later. And it remains 1-1 there. Hearts and Motherwell dead level on 39 points, 6th and 7th place respectively. Long ball from Forrester down the right. Wilson will chase, but he goes all the way through to Sinisalo, and it is such a long road back for Hearts now. Those 2 goals scored in a 5-6 minute period by Maida and Jota have them behind.
Yeah, you see the game settling into the rhythm that maybe Celtic want now. You know, they're on the ball, they're passing it, they're keeping it, and Hearts have found it difficult to get the same momentum that they did in the first opening 15-20 minutes. Obviously the goals has got a major effect on that.
That's got to knock the stuffing out of you. Celtic come again, long ball, looking for Jota down the left, well defended this time by Forrester. He goes back to Gordon, who knocks it forward first time with the left foot, won his 81st cap against Greece last Sunday. Craig Gordon, 4th in the all-time cap list, out right now. As Kuhn picks up wide on the right for Celtic, the German on the left foot rolls it back to McGregor. McGregor then to Kuhn, the right angle of the box. The pressure from Milne, that was proved to be enough. Penrice clears. Kuhn gave it away, but Celtic win it back quickly through the ever impressive Callum McGregor, and they so missed him in that game against Rangers.
Absolutely.
It just shows you again how important he is to this team.
Well, he's also, you can see him here now, he's passed the ball and then he's directing, he's directing people around about him.
Here come Hearts. Wilson driving forward, he's got Forrester to his right. Hearts need the next goal, the delicate chips behind Shanklin though. Does break to Penrice, chips it back in. Wilson, chance, header wide, huge chance, and the youngster knows it. His manager knows it as well, as he cries to the heavens down below us. James Wilson simply has to score, put Hearts on the scoreboard and bring them back to within 1. It stays Celtic 2, Hearts 0 on 37 and a half.
Well, he's got to hit the target anyway, that's for sure. He had all the room in the world, nobody picking him up at the back post. It was almost just hanging for him just to get his timing right, get the right contact on the ball with his head, and he didn't, and he headed back across the goal when it was so much easier to hit the target and make the goalkeeper at least try to make a save. And you're probably right, he should have scored, but at least hit the target, Liam.
Leighton Clarkson's put Aberdeen ahead in a game they trailed in. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1. Here is Kuhn for Celtic. The ball to the left was Well read by Forrester, who clears. Kuhn battling to try and win it back. The challenge comes from Penrice, who hoists it forward. Again, the Celtic fans felt it should have been a free kick there. Makes in the centre circle for Celtic in any case, with Mike Nawrocki, who finds McGregor, who rolls it out to the left for Schlupp. And then back to Nawrocki. But that was their route back into the game, that Packy.
Very much so. That was their best chance. And it was good play again down this left hand side. Nice little ball dinked to the back post, but the space was enormous for Wilson. Nobody picking him up, and he as a striker, a young striker with a pedigree, he should be able to do better than that.
Tate's ball overcooked for Johnston down the right of the Hearts penalty area, and it was behind the goal kick to the visitors. Only defeats in recent times since that Derby loss on Boxing Day came against Rangers, and that was a game they were really annoyed that they lost and felt they should have won despite the 3-1 scoreline. And of course they were beaten at Easter Road, and then Milne kneed it behind, but Gordon's actually prevented the corner. It looked like it was going to go for a Celtic corner there as Milne apologises to his teammates. So in the Premiership, 2-0 Celtic here, Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1, Hibernian 2, St Johnstone 0, and St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 0. 5:30 kickoff. Dundee host Rangers. Championship goalless between Ayr, Dunfermline, Morton, Partick Thistle and Hamilton Wraith Rovers. Approaching half-time. League 1, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 0, Annan 0, Kelty 1, Arbroath 1, Cove 0, Queen of the South 1, Cally Thistle 1, and Stenhousemuir 0, Montrose 2. Just the one goal in League 2 scored by Spartans away at East Fife. Goalless at Bonnyrigg, Forfar, Stirling Albion and Stranraer. Celtic have it here with Nawrocki. Again, the rain continues to drizzle down on the greasy surface, and Kuhn could be in here. Hatate's got it through to the right hand side of the Hearts box. He is now. Kuhn across, and Maida taps home. He didn't have long to wait for goal number 30 for the season, and Dyson Maida knocks it home at the back post. No flag. Celtic 3 up before the break and cruising towards the 3 points and cruising towards yet another title. It is Celtic 3, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Yeah, just again their ability to pass through the Hearts, all the front 3 and midfield. This time, as soon as the ball's played beyond, I think it was Millen for Kuhn, he couldn't match his pace, and he had the easiest chances just to pick out Maeda across that 6-yard box to give Craig Gordon no chance to put Celtic in an unbelievable commanding position in this game. But again, Hearts not able to deal with the ability of Celtic to can almost play through them. Yeah, very, very, very good from Celtic, I've got to say, in those occasions when they've been really sharp. There was a couple of maybe opportunities for Hearts just to get contact on the ball in the middle of the pitch there, but Celtic were able to slide in, get the ball away. I think it was Maeda slid in, got first contact and set up Kuhn. There they go again.
Yeah, almost found Jota. He was all the way through to Gordon, almost in 42 minutes. Then Celtic 3 up. The Celtic fans back here in the posh seats in the North Stand are heading off for their half-time refreshments, and safe in the knowledge that this game is won. You were struggling to see Hearts coming back from 2-0, 3-0 down now, and really since the first goal it has been one-way traffic, and Celtic are coming forward again with Schlupp on the far side. Neil Critchley's down there pondering what might have been.
Yeah, listen, they've had 2 big chances, Hearts, in the game to punish Celtic, and they haven't been able to take their chances, but Celtic have really, when they got the opportunity, and you can see the quality of the players and the way that Brendan Rodgers wants them to play, and it's kind of almost try and to outfox that press and play forward, and they've done it with actually aplomb, and it's been really good to watch. Here's Hearts on the counter-attack.
Everyone's won it back off McGregor, but the ref blows for a free kick, and Neil Critchley's hopping mad down below us. And he goes to have a word with the 4th official, and they were 3-on-2 there with Cammy Devlin coming through, but Kevin Clancy felt he'd fouled McGregor, and they've got another free kick for a foul by Kabangu on his countryman Engels down below us. 2 Belgians
Yeah, you were right, Liam. As soon as that sort of first goal goes in, you could see Hearts just dropping off that energy. Second goal kills them, and then, you know, they've been trying to get back to what they were doing early on in the game, but I said probably a little bit naive when you're 2-0 down, and then you get picked off again. So 3 goals down in this first half. What you know, you could say that they've played decently well, but they've been so exposed. And you know, they've got 3 big centre halves at the back who don't look quick for me, and that's been a real issue for them.
Celtic win it back at the edge of the Hearts box. Jota leaves it for Kuhn, who's going round the houses, left hand side of the area, looking for space to shoot. He does, and Gordon holds on comfortably at his near post this time. Good play by Kuhn. He was just trying to work that space as we tick into the final minute of the opening 45, with Celtic leading by 3-0.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is probably they're playing with 2 holding midfield players, but the third player is Lawrence Shanklin, who's as a striker really, and he doesn't then fill into the spaces, and Celtic are just outnumbering them in the middle of the pitch also, and when they get control of that area, then they become really dangerous.
The wind picking up here doesn't make conditions any easier for players or supporters alike. And as Carter Vickers, he rolls it low out to Johnston on this near side. And a long second half for Hearts this now. As we approach the break, we'll see if there's any stoppage time. Looks like the fourth official has got the board in his hand, so there will be at least 1 minute added on at the end. There was a VAR check for the penalty, and the score's at 0-0. 2 minutes have been added on at the end here. As Nawrocki pushes it forward to McGregor, midway inside his own half, to Schlup on the left, back to Nawrocki and forward to Hatate. And now with McGregor.
Yeah, they're just playing through and around the midfield, you know, just a rotation.
Yeah, and here Schlup in behind left hand side, pulls it back towards the edge of the box, might break to Engels, only half away by Penrice. McGregor trying to get onto it, works the 1-2 with Hatate, gives it back to Hatate, and he shoots over the bar. Celtic 3, Hearts 0.
Yeah, they're having fun now, Celtic, aren't they? You know, they're all joining in, and they're creating opportunities for themselves. And you're right, it's going to be a long afternoon for Hearts. You know, you're 3-0 down in the first half. Where do you go from here? What do you do? Do you change the shape? Do you change players? You're hoping to get a goal back. You know, that real opportunity for James Wilson was probably their way back in at
2 big
2-0.
chances. Wilson's won at 2-0 down, but also at 1-0 with Lewis Nielsen in the early periods of the match. Celtic's opening goal came in 17 minutes. Hearts were arguably the better team up to that point, yet they find themselves well beaten already. That goes out for a throw into the visitors midway inside their own half on the far side. We've played a minute and a half just about of the 2 that were added on. And it's one of those, you don't want it to be the case, but you know, Hearts at this point, given there's another 45 minutes to go here, would probably sign up for a 3-0 defeat, just try and forget about it and focus on the 2 games they've got before the split.
Yeah, well, and 2 hugely important games. You know, if they get themselves into the top 6, they've had a very good run. You know, looking back, and I think since they played Celtic last time, they had 16 games, and you know, I think they lost 4, drew 3, and won 9 of them. So that's been a healthy progression for Hearts from where they were, and it's got them into that sort of kind of almost top 6.
Well, there's the whistle from Kevin Clancy. Hearts players' shoulders slumped, make their way up the tunnel.
Stephen O'Donnell inside the box. He chops back onto his right foot, has the shot that Ellery Balcom fumbles back into play. Motherwell managed to get around him and throw it out. Put it out for a corner kick, but that would have been a real blow for them. I think it's Dan Casey eventually clears the ball, but there's a corner kick to come and we're into the last minute.
Yeah, Aberdeen have fought back in that game, and Stephen's saying they're unlucky not to be further ahead there at But I've just seen pictures of the players leaving the pitch at half-time at Celtic Park. The camera is on Jota. He got his goal there, big celebrations from him. But once again, the star of the show, Daizen Maeda. He's got a double in that game, 17 and 41. Jota with a goal in between on 24 minutes. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1. Motherwell after a flyer there, Callum Slattery after 5 minutes. Dorrington and Clarkson, a lovely goal from Clarkson, have the Dons Scotsman's in front up there, and as I said, 2-0 to St Mirren at home to Kilmarnock. Also 2-0 Easter Road Hibs up against St Johnstone in the Championship this afternoon. Goalless in the game at Capello. Morton against Partick Thistle. Ayr United won. Dunfermline nil. Conor McLennan on 43 minutes, and Raith Rovers still very much in the mix for that final playoff spot in the Championship. 1-0 up away against Hamilton Accies. Dylan Easton with that goal on 43 minutes. If Neil Lennon's Dunfermline do go on to lose at Somerset Park, perhaps some good news coming his way if Accies don't take something from their game, because Dunfermline very much have Accies in their sights to get away from that situation towards the bottom of the Championship table. So still playing at Pittodrie and still playing at Easter Road, Steve McGinn?
Yeah, we're still playing. I think a minute added on time, so yeah, I expect it to finish 2-0, nothing happening.
But he's got options in the bench team with Alakari. But how brave does he be in the second half, Stephen?
He's got no option. I think he has to. If you're going 1-0, maybe you leave it 15-20 minutes. 2-0, they have to go for it from half time.
Half time here, Kenny. Pittodrie, Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1.
Yeah, just watch that Leighton Clarkson goal. You'll see it on Sports Scene this evening. A lovely finish from the edge of the box. Still going at Somerset Park, Kerry Deadstand.
We are 49 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. That's because poor Connor Young was stretchered off after just 20 minutes. Ayr nearly got a second. A brilliant free kick from Scott McMahon, about an inch or so above the junction of post and crossbar. But as we tick towards 50 minutes here at rainy Somerset Park, the home fans are happy enough because they lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, they certainly are happy in that one. We'll give you a full rundown of all the scores at half-time, and in the Championship we'll give you the 3 games there. Games, full cards in League 1 and League 2 this afternoon. Down in England, the main feature, the quarter-finals of the FA Cup down there. So plenty more to come on sports. So we're on the telly today, BBC Scotland, from 4:30 until 5:20. The action continues, of course, on the radio. 5:30 start. Full coverage to come from Dens Park. Dundee at home to Rangers. Stay with us. All the half-time reports to come right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
Right, let's start our journey around the grounds and get the half-time reports. No shortage of goals or drama in the first halves across the country. First stop, Celtic Park, their first of our commentary games today. Celtic at home to Hearts. Let's hear from Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
Well, Kenny, Kyogo Furuhashi's best goal-scoring season for Celtic saw him notch 34 for the club. Daizen Maeda has taken his tally up to 30, so he's just 4 behind Kyogo's best, which again just shows how good a campaign that Maeda is having. He scored either side of a Jota goal to give Celtic a 3-0 lead here, and it all came after a bright start by Hearts and a big opportunity for Lewis Nielsen early on, with Sinisalo making a big save as he begins his stint in goal for the champions, with Kasper Schmeichel out with that shoulder injury. A really good reactive save there from Nielsen. It came from a corner, and Hearts settled very well in the game, but then came the sucker punch, and Celtic, despite not playing particularly well, going in front. A wonderful weight of ball from McGregor. Maeda was in behind. Classic Maeda. Too much pace for the Hearts defence, and he slotted home into the bottom right corner. 6 minutes later, Jota made it 2. Again Maeda involved. Flick header came cannoning off the post. Fell kindly for Jota, who smashed it home into the empty net to make it 2. James Wilson had a huge opportunity to reduce the deficit as the ball in from the left found him at the back post. He's all alone, but he headed it wide. He made his senior Scotland debut 6 nights ago, and then Maeda made it 3 there. This time Nicholas Kuhn was the set-up man. Across the face of goal, Maeda at the back post to make it 3. Surely game over at that point, Packy Bonner. Neil Critchley down there, he'll be frustrated. He's got another 45 minutes of this to negotiate, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll be worried because, you know, they took a risk early on and nearly give them the reward of getting that goal that Sinisalo saved. But as soon as Celtic hit their stride, and I've got to say the first goal was a magnificent passing goal, and they've got that ability in the team. And you know, you can press them, you can do all of that, but if you don't get it right on occasions, they will cut you up, and they've done it now. And the 3 goals that Celtic scored have been excellent goals, and that's been the difference you know, again, taking your chances when they come around, and Celtic just clinical, but now have almost in the rhythm of their game, and they're in a great position to go on and win this game with a lot more goals.
Half-time at Celtic Park sees the champions leading Hearts by 3-0.
Full second half commentary to come from Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod. Next stop, Pittodrie, Aberdeen at home to Motherwell. Let's get the half-time report from Stephen Cregan.
Yeah, and I have to say, Kenny, they've been treated to a very impressive game here this afternoon. It only took 90 seconds for the action to get really underway. Topi Keskinen ran across the near post, had a lovely little strike with his left foot, just unfortunately for him went the wrong side of the post into the side netting. But surprisingly, it was Motherwell that took the lead after 5 minutes. Harry Payton does really well in the second phase of a corner kick, keeps the ball alive, goes past Kevin Nisbet, gets to the byline. And you always encourage players, when you get to the byline, can you stand the ball up to the back post? Take the goalkeeper out of play, who usually stands at the near post. That's exactly what happened. And in came Callum Slattery, met it flush in off the crossbar to give Motherwell a 1-0 lead. But that certainly didn't put Aberdeen off. Leighton Clarkson played a lovely little ball into the feet of Kevin Nisbet. He turned and fed Topi Keskinen, went through one-on-one with Ellery Balcom, but a really smart save down to his right-hand side. But it was only a matter of moments later, 13 minutes into the game, Aberdeen were level. Corner kick came in, ball cleared to the edge of the box, and Alfie Dorrington, with his first goal for Aberdeen, absolutely slammed it home with the outside of his right foot. And I have to say, at that stage it was deserved, because even though they went behind, they were still forceful in their play and what they were trying to do, and they were really dynamic. I mentioned it during the game, the cohesion between Keskinen and Oakles and Clarkson and Nisbet and Guy. The front players of Aberdeen for at times have been criticised this season, but this afternoon they're all in sync. They're all working really hard, interchange, and Motherwell at times are struggling to hang on to them. Guy himself almost had a goal. It was a looping cross on the left-hand side from Oakles. He had a slight glance of the header, and Balcom managed to scramble it past the post, but they eventually did take the lead 2-1. I have to say it was a deserved goal as well. Leighton Clarkson with the finish. Short corner kick. Palaversa rolled it into Oakles, who came from the near post area. Back to Palaversa. He fed Clarkson on the edge of the box, steadied himself, and then just bent it in to the far corner past Ellery Balcom. For Aberdeen, it's been high energy. For Motherwell, they're going to have to be better. They'll be delighted they've gone in at half-time just to go behind. Aberdeen will know the next goal is crucial for them to try and take Motherwell out of the equation. If Motherwell get it, we have game on. Half-time here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1.
Stephen, just before you go, it's important we give the fans a voice on this programme. Gary Flossie, Aberdeen fan. Ask your pundit, Stephen, about the ref at the Dons game. According to Gary, he has been shocking.
I'm not too sure what team he's calling it for. I have to say, he's given Motherwell a lot of free kicks, and the Aberdeen punters are not happy at all. They're going for him at every occasion. I think Aberdeen have actually had more players booked than Motherwell, even though it seems to be the referee's been poor for Aberdeen. But anyway, yeah, he's been inconsistent, Kenny.
Good way of putting it, very diplomatic there from Stephen Cregan at Pittodrie. Next stop, Easter Road, Hibs at home to St Johnstone. The half-time report comes from Stephen McGinn.
Yeah, Hibs well in control, 2-0 up at half-time here. The first 15 minutes of the game went exactly how Simo Valakari would have wanted it to go. Really stop-start, no tempo in the game. St Johnstone putting their foot in the ball. But the problem with that, setting it up, a few weeks ago it worked in a win at St Mirren, but you have to be so defensively secure, and you have to be really good on the ball. Don't give the ball away in your own half. Hibs have got the players to punish them. After about 16 minutes, Barry Douglas caught in the ball, sent Martin Boyle through, a good save from Andrew Fisher, but it sparked Hibs into life for a couple of minutes. It led to almost a stramash in the box. Martin Boyle was looking for a penalty, comes out to Jordan Abita, who rolls it to Junior Hoylett in the box. In that situation, Sam Curtis just has to make sure that he goes to the line. You let Junior Hoylett in on his right foot in the box, and he's got the quality to stick it in the top corner, and it's exactly what he did to put Hibs 1-0 up. From then, St Johnstone went back to just trying to keep possession, almost wait until the second half to really have a go, but they get caught in the ball. Sprangler, it was from a goal kick. Barry Douglas rolled it into him. He was just too slow, robbed of the ball. An ideal for Martin Boyle in a situation, running at Barry Douglas into the box. He's shifted it onto his right foot. Barry Douglas has opened his leg up to block the shot, and Martin Boyle's used it to hit it through his legs and into the goal to make it 2-0. Really frustrating from a St Johnstone point of view in terms of Hibs haven't been battering the door down. Both preventable goals. Duke McKenzie out warming up here. You'd expect to see at least one change here for St Johnstone to have some sort of go in the second half. But as things stand, 2-0 Hibs.
Thank you to Steve McGinn. A few technical issues in Paisley, so won't hear from Derek Ferguson until the second half. Half-time, St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 0. Killen Boyd Munns with opening goal, Leanne, on 6 minutes. The keeper had to do better. Adowo, you weren't sure. It should have been a penalty. It was given. He tucked that away very coolly on 9 minutes. It was a dreadful start for Killie.
Yeah, really poor start. The worst possible start really you can get off to. I think listening to Derek McInnes in his pre-game interview and how he was building up to the game and asking about away form and things that haven't gone quite their way this season. Well, that just sums it up, that type of starting a game. Really naive, really poor from Robbie McCrory initially in terms of the first goal. And then the penalty so quickly after it. I think within a matter of minutes, 2-3 minutes perhaps, Derek will probably keep us right in the second half. But no, a big second half performance. I think Kilmarnock, they've in flashes had a couple of moments that they could have got themselves back in the game, but haven't carried enough of a threat. And I think St Mirren are one of these sides that have got loads of experience about them as well, that when they get their noses in front, certainly at home, they can control the controllables. And I think it'd be a difficult afternoon for Kilmarnock to get themselves back in it at all.
Just looking at that race for top 6. So right now the live table, Hearts, they're in it, 39 points. St Mirren 38, Motherwell 38, Ross County, they play tomorrow, 35 points. It's so tight. As for Kilmarnock, 32 points as things stand. Dundee 31, they of course play tonight. St Johnstone isolated now at the bottom of the table on 26 points. We're covering 2 games in the Championship this afternoon. Let's get to Somerset Park. Ayr United at home to Dunfermline. I get the half-time report from Kerry Nidsan.
Ayr United 1, Dunfermline Athletic 0 in monsoon conditions here at Somerset. I'm going to give both sets of players a pass for the first half hour, in which it was nigh on impossible to play any football. Dunfermline, though, under Neil Lennon, looked the more composed in that spell. They forced a few corners. They couldn't create anything, though, in the way of clear-cut chances. They were then made to pay when Ayr sorted themselves out, started to play a bit and took the lead just before half-time when Conor McLennan cracked a fizzer of a shot from the edge of the area beyond Olu Oluwayemi in the Pars goal. It should have been Ayer's second, actually, because Curtis Main was free in the 6-yard box minutes earlier, but he volleyed straight at the keeper. Sad scenes earlier as Dunfermline's Connor Young, restored to the starting lineup by new manager Lennon, had to be stretchered off after 20 minutes. Victor Wanyama, of course, is on the Pars bench. May we see his return to Scottish football action after the break if Dunfermline want to muscle their way back into this one. Half-time, Ayr 1, Dunfermline 0.
Right, thanks to Kerry Nidsan. Let's get to Campbell Morton and home to Partick Thistle and hear from Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed, Kenny. We're actually underway in the second half here, and Nathan Shaw's already had a shot after 46 minutes, which Budinakis did save, but it was probably the best shot of the game so far. As for the first half, Logan Chalmers had a shot from about 25 yards about 5 minutes into the game, which went just wide. O'Reilly had a header which just went wide, big centre back for Partick Thistle. Cameron Blues had 2 really good chances about 7-8 yards out. The first one he didn't catch at all, and the second one was a really good block. The most entertaining thing, all the Partick Thistle fans at half-time, or a big collection of them, ran for cover on the stand across from me. There's a little section at the end which is empty, and they tried to get under, which I thought was all in good jest to start with, but big kind of police presence and stewards all around trying to usher them back in, and I thought for a second it was going to get ugly. It didn't, though, and they're all back there now. So a little bit sunny on the second half, Kenny, so hopefully we get some more action, but it's 0-0.
Thanks to Rory there. So Ayr United 1, Dunfermline 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0, Partick Thistle 0. In League 1, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 0, Annan Athletic 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Arbroath the Leaders 1, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Stennismuir 0, Montrose 3, and in League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Elgin City 0, East Fife 0, Spartans 2, Forfar 0, Peterhead 0. Peterhead have been down to 10 men since the very early stages. Stirling Albion 1, Edinburgh City 0, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0.
Catch Scotland in the Women's Nations League.
And it breaks for Lawton, who scores!
Scotland versus Germany lives here on Friday night.
Absolutely sensational finish. A stunning moment for Scotland at Hampden.
Watch on iPlayer, listen on digital radio, or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, a choice of listening once again. Stick with us on BBC Sounds 92 to 95 FM for open all nights. For full commentary of Celtic against Hearts, tune to Radio Scotland Extra, Digital and 810 medium wave, and both options are available online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
Welcome back from Celtic Park. Liam McLeod and Paddy Bonner here for the second half. Celtic 3, Hearts 0. The Hearts players have made their way back out onto the pitch. I see Callum Nieuwenhof is going to come on to play the second half. The Hearts number 8. I'm not sure at this point who's replaced Paddy.
I think it's Cammy Devlin maybe. Or is it Cammy Devlin? Or
no, Devlin's there.
Devlin's there. No, I'm not sure then. We'll have a look. We'll wait and see.
Might well be a change of shape coming here as well. Anyway, we'll get that worked out for you as we await the arrival of the Celtic players. Hearts win here in December 2023, stopped a run of 10 successive defeats in this fixture. They've only won once though in their last 27 visits to Celtic Park. So this isn't a new position that they have found themselves in. Was romped to third spot last term.
Yeah, I think it's Wilson maybe just gone off.
Yeah, it's James Wilson.
Yeah.
Might well be a little tweak in shape there. Neil Critchley will be going for damage limitation in the second half. And how often have we said that at half-time in a match here? The visitors have found themselves out of the running after just 45 minutes. Hearts could be doing actually without this second half. You can hear the Nieuwenhof for Wilson substitution announced in the background. The rain's gone off, it's still blustery as Hearts prepare to kick off the second half, going from left to right in the maroon and white. Celtic in their green and white hoops will shoot towards the Jockstein standoff to our left, as they tend to do in the second half of matches here. Cammy Devlin will have the first touch of the second half, and he rolls it all the way back to Nielsen. And can Hearts get some respectability on the scoreline, or at the very least make sure it doesn't get any worse than it already is? And Schlupp does a bit of clearing down this left hand side. It's the same Celtic 11 as ended the first half and started it indeed. Maida to Hatate now down the left hand side. He's found Jota, he's in behind Forrester, driving forward. Jota, Nielsen considering making the challenge. Jota's in the box, pulls it across, and Gordon gets a really important touch onto it. Good goalkeeping from the veteran. Still in play, wide in the right with Engels, rolling it back to Johnston, infield to Kuhn. Kuhn now attacking the Hearts box, squares it to Schlupp, and then out to the left for Jota again. Level with the penalty spot, little step over to the byline, tries to roll it back to Schlupp. He'll settle for the corner of Kabangu.
Yeah, that chance was set up by Hatate again, a beautiful pass down the line for Jota, who then takes on Nielsen, I think down this right hand side, and just can almost, was easy to get to beat them with a little bit of pace, and a beautiful ball across. Just Craig Gordon had to get a touch on it, otherwise it was an easy tap in again.
Engels will take the corner on this near side, the Celtic left, as they attack the goal to the left. In swinger with the right foot coming up here, and the young Belgian, and it comes, it's flicked off a Hearts head out to the right hand side of the box. Hatate pulls it back across, half clear, picked up by McGregor at the edge of the box, squares it to Jota, left of the D, out to the left hand side. Engels with a low ball in, but Gordon will hold on comfortably inside the 6-yard box. 3-0 to Celtic, approaching the end of the second minute of the second half.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a change of shape really from Hearts. It's just a change of personnel. They've pushed Lawrence Shanklin up alongside Kabango, and the substitutions come on and played in his role in midfield, and yeah, it's just tidying things up, because I didn't think Shanklin could do that sort of almost defensive role by playing in there. He's fine on McGregor when he has to then sort of get forward and support the front two, but it's the defensive side when they hit them on the counter attack.
Celtic have another corner taken short by Jota to Engels, back to Jota on this left hand side to McGregor, stabbed back to Jota as cross takes a deflection and Gordon has his eyes on it and holds on. As Celtic begin the second half in a positive fashion. You do wonder, I always wonder what managers are saying to their players at the break when they're 3-0 down with a second half to come, knowing it's a pretty much hopeless task. But here comes Shanklin, he's got it from Kabangu out to the right hand side of the Celtic penalty area, level with the 18-yard line. The Hearts skipper back to Beningame on the turn, finds Devlin. Remember Benny Beningame in his league debut for Hearts, man of the match against Celtic in what was Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge, a late John Souttar goal. Won it for Hearts that day. Ball pinged out to Forrester on the near side, comes off his head, but it falls to Nawrocki, who goes back to Sinisalo. I will, as I said in the first half, keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere. There were those two late first half goals in the Championship scored by Ayr United and Raith Rovers against Dunfermline and Hamilton respectively. There's Nawrocki for Celtic, square ball to Carter Vickers and out to Johnston. It's the first time Nawrocki started back-to-back games for Celtic since August of last season. Kuhn has it, driving up towards the edge of the Hearts box, looking for Jota in behind, and Forrester reacts and slides it behind for Celtic's third corner of the second half, which is only 4 minutes old.
Yeah, nice slick passing from Celtic again breaking right through the middle of that Hearts midfield and almost setting up another opportunity for themselves. They've been clinical today on that part of the game, really sharp when they've had the opportunity.
Corner on the near side. All three have been taken in the second half by Arne Engels. The last one was short to Jota. Does this one come straight into the penalty area? And in swinger again, right footed, it does, towards the back post. Gordon, did he get slightest touch on it? I think it's come off a Celtic head just to the right of the 6-yard box in any case. And it will be a goal kick to Hearts, and it will stay 3-0 to Celtic. And speaking of 3-0, Montrose are 3-0 up now on Stenhouse-Murid off of View in the third tier. Doesn't look like there's any further change to the score lines in League One. In League Two, Edinburgh City have equalised early in the second half against Stirling Albion, having gone behind just before the break. Now 1-1 in that one. Spartans 2-1 up on East Fife. And it was East Fife pulling one back there, having gone 2-0 down in first half stoppage time. So East Fife 1, Spartans 2 in League Two. Meantime, Hearts have a man down, and it's Cammy Devlin. He's being helped to his feet by Hatate. Yeah, it will be an uncontested bounce ball here by the looks of it for Hearts.
Just a substitution for Hearts is obviously taking another midfielder in and almost gone with Beningame is the holding midfield player now, and the other two is pushed on almost, and they're kind of going man for man in there, which is probably the right thing to do. More legs and see could they match Celtic up. Otherwise, Celtic just played around them for probably about for half an hour in that first half, with the forward line that they have there, and if you get into good positions, you can pick the passes and the space in behind they can exploit.
Eventually it's game on again. Kevin Clancy took a while there. Bouncing ball in the centre circle. Shanklin's done enough to force it through to Kabangu, but it's a good recovery slide there by Carter Vickers, who gets it back to his keeper. And Sinisalo plays it short to Nawrocki, and now out to the left hand side here for Jeffrey Schlupp, who finds Hatate, and then back to Nawrocki and back to his goalkeeper again. Celtic in the comfort zone right now and playing it around with a confidence that you would expect for a team that's 13 clear at the top of the table and 3-0 up on the day as Maida goes forward. The quick throw in was too quick for the referee's liking though, and Maida was in behind there. He's on a hat-trick too.
Yeah, it was the wrong spot though. It was a good idea, quick throw in, it always works if you can do it, but just when you take it from the wrong position, then the referee would have every right to pull it back.
Hearts have got huge games, 2 to come before the split against Dundee United and Motherwell. Celtic have got St Johnstone and Kilmarnock as the long ball aimed for Maida. It's too close to Craig Gordon, who holds on to it. Dyson Maida will be eyeing up a third hat-trick of the season today. He got one against Aberdeen in the League Cup semi-finals. He got one against Raith Rovers in the Scottish Cup 5th round last month.
Yeah, listen, you know, the three centre-backs, they're not comfortable. They're not the quickest, that's the problem. You have to be really, really quick now when you're up against top-class players, and especially players with real pace like Maeda. Very few in this country can match him for pace, and they're not comfortable at all when Celtic have got the ball and they get their head up in midfield, because he's always, the first thing in his mind is just running behind.
Hatate on this near side goes back to Nawrocki. Is it short to McGregor? And then back to Sinisalo, the Premiership. 3-0 Celtic here. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1. Hibs 2, St Johnstone 0. St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 0. 5:30 kickoff. Dundee host Rangers. It's live on Sports Sound. In now we're in quarters time. Championship, Ayr 1, Dunfermline 0. Morton goalless with Partick Thistle. Hamilton 0, Raith Rovers 1. League 1, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 0, Annan 0, Kelty 1, Arbroath 1, Cove 0, Queen of the South 1, Cally Thistle 1, Montrose 3-0 up at Stenhousemuir. East Fife have come from 2-0 down and levelled at 2-2 at home to Spartans. So important for them to just try and hang on to the coattails of Peterhead, who are being held 0-0 at Forfar. Bonnyrigg goalless with Elgin. Stirling Albion 1, Edinburgh City 1, and Stranraer goalless with Clyde. That game was later kicking off as Craig Gordon goes long with the left foot. Underneath it is Carter Vickers, who nods it out to Johnston on the far side. Comes back to the Canadian. Interesting to see those two going up against each other in the CONCACAF Nations League last week. It was a contentious issue where Johnston had to tell his clubmate to calm down a bit during that match. It was quite interesting footage.
I didn't see it, so you're ahead of me there.
Yeah, Celtic free kick down on this near side. And there's a yellow card being shown to Forrester. And a shake of the head from his manager, Neil Critchley. Celtic 3, Hearts 0 here.
Yeah, just a late tackle. And the ball was well away when he caught him. Jotter's back on his feet and he's comfortable, but it's just because of the lateness of the tackle. That's why he's got booked.
The sun's trying to break through the clouds above all of a sudden here.
And the time changes tonight, Liam. Don't forget that.
We should get an hour less sleep tonight then.
That's it. But the days are longer, we can enjoy it.
Yes, indeed. Here's Hatate. Well, Hearts don't want a long day here. Johnston out to Kuhn on that right-hand side, attacking the right angle of the box. Knocks it back to McGregor. He's going to shoot from distance, and it's a decent hit, and we've seen him score plenty from range this season. Left foot, it's one of those daisy cutter shots he loves into the bottom corner, and Gordon holds on. He got plenty behind it, as he normally does.
He did. The goalkeeper seen it well, though. You know, he was well behind it, because, you know, it's one of them. You're right, it's a low drill shot into the corner, but you have time to react. As the ones that is bent around you, that's the ones that cause goalkeepers real trouble.
Free kick goes Hearts' way this time, over on the far side. And I guess Neil Critchley will just be saying to his players, try and not lose the second half, and then, you know, at least it's not got worse.
Yeah, and if you can maybe sneak one back, and gives you maybe a little chance to take something really positive out of the game.
Devlin in the centre circle, goes down. Advantage to Hearts here. It was a foul by Kuhn. Hearts have it with Penrice, driving down the left north stand side, and knocks it back infield to Devlin. Now to Beningame. There is space to operate in here. Beningame rolls it low with the side foot ball to Shanklin, but it's a poor touch by the captain. And Celtic can mop up back to Sinisalo.
Yeah, poor touch there. You know, they built the game quite well there, Hearts. Obviously, this little change of shape in the middle of the pitch allows Beningame to get a little bit more time, a bit like McGregor on the ball, where he can start then dictating the game a little bit. But when you play the ball into a quality player like Shanklin, he can't afford to have a bad touch and around the edge of the box, and gives possession straight back to Celtic.
And just the 4 goals for Lawrence Shanklin this season. Lost his place in the Scotland squad. Here's Kuhn attacking the Hearts box, turns it out wide left here at the left angle of the penalty area for Jota. Jota toes it back to Kuhn, left of the D, and then out to Sloop on the left hand side, and now back to Jota, fires it across and headed away by Penrice. Only as far as Johnston. Johnston taking on Devlin, his ball across, cut out by the Aussie. And it comes back the way out to McGregor on the far side, infield to Hatate. Hatate finds Sloop, who finds Jota on this left hand side. Taking on Forrester. Tormenting Forrester, ding ball across. Kuhn tries to force it home, but one of the Hearts defenders does enough, and there's a head knock in the box, and that will be a stoppage in play, despite the annoyance of the Celtic supporters there.
Yeah, it was one of them where it's dinked across, and Kuhn's coming in, and he's tried to kind of half volley it, but it was sort of almost chest high, and he's caught. Was it Penrice? I think it is. Who is it? Penrice? I'm not sure. Who had tracked him in.
Yes, it is Penrice.
And
okay.
Just caught him in the head. So I think the referee is probably right to stop the game. Now I think it's going to be
it's a Celtic ball.
It's a Celtic ball further out the pitch. Yeah.
It's on the cusp of the attack in third here, and this ball's dropped by the ref. And Callum McGregor and Rio Hatate are on site. Remains 2-0 Hibs, 3-0 St Mirren now against Kilmarnock on the hour mark in Paisley. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1 at Pittodrie. Nawrocki for Celtic, square ball to Carter Vickers and then out to Johnston on the far side. And rolls it back to Carter Vickers, moves it right to left of the centre circle for Nawrocki. And now with Sloop, and down the left for Jota, infield for Hatate, who's also part of that Japan squad that qualified for the World Cup. Of course, Carter Vickers and Johnston will hope to be representing the US and Canada respectively at that tournament. Hatate was a sub in the second match against Saudi Arabia. It was Bahrain they beat. The first game to secure qualification for the World Cup, though Hatate and Maida didn't feature in that one. As Hatate infield to Engels, now McGregor, one back by Devlin, but the ref sees that as a foul, and that will be a free kick, and Neil Critchley not happy again.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much in that. I think it was a decent tackle. The ball's gone forward, so you would assume maybe that he's made contact with the ball. He may have caught McGregor first, so that's maybe why the referee was standing right-wooted. So it's probably the right decision.
On the hour mark, Celtic 3, Hearts 0. Celtic on the ball on the right here with Kuhn. Paolo Bernardo looks like he's going to be making his return official.
Yeah, he's been out for a while, hasn't he? To get him back now at this stage is good. Every player wants to get back before that season comes to a finale and get your fitness back up to a level so you can enjoy your summer holidays. You don't have to be going in to get your fitness up when everybody else is on holiday.
Yeah, he's been out for nearly 2 months. His last appearance was against Wraith in the Cup. Sloop knocks it off Steinbender, and out for a throw into Celtic level with the Hearts penalty spot, taken by Sloop to Hatate. Back to Hatate from Sloop, and he's lost out to Nieuwenhof, and now it's Shanklin who goes early looking for Kabangu. Carter Vickers is the covering Celtic player. That's not a great back pass. Kabangu almost got onto it. Sinisalo got there first, finds Carter Vickers, who offers the thumbs up to his keeper.
Yeah, he's lucky that Sinisalo didn't drop off more to give him a little bit more space to knock it back, because it was a poor touch from him. There's a great ball over there.
Yeah, almost for Maida, headed away by Hearts and picked up on the near side by Forrester, who was fouled by Maida. Maybe a free kick to Hearts on this near side, beyond the midway point of their own half, in front of Brendan Rodgers' technical area.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much in that. It was just almost like a shoulder and that, but again, referees close to it, stops the play.
Ding ball down the left-hand touchline for Hearts by Penrice, controlled by Kabangu. Trying to shield Carter Vickers there, and it's out of play, and it's going to be a Celtic throw-in, level with the edge of the centre circle. So we'll tick on to 62 minutes.
Yeah, listen, the game I think is done and dusted from that perspective, but you're right what you were saying about probably Hearts just want to try to at least not get beaten in the second half. If you almost psychologically say it's a 0-0 starting point at half time, but obviously 3 points I think are gone for them, and Celtic will be delighted to get the 3 points and just getting them closer to that title again.
Still plenty to play for Hearts. They'll be looking for that top 6 spot. They can manage that, and you'd say they're favourites to get that final place in the top half of the table, especially with Motherwell losing right now as well. We've also got Europe after that as Jota crosses in. Hearts get it away. And then of course Scottish Cup semi-final against Aberdeen to come in a few weeks' time too.
Yeah, that's the critical one, I think. Obviously they want to get into the top 6. That's hugely important for a club the size of Hearts to be in that top 6, especially when their big rival, city rival Hibs is going to be there, but the cup final, obviously getting to that, it would be another huge one for that group of players after considering the start they had of the season.
Well, there's still hope to finish third. They're running out of games for that, of course. Hibs currently in pole position, but it won't be lost on the Hearts supporters that if Hibs do finish third, a Hearts Scottish Cup victory would mug Hibernian of the guaranteed European League phase football. Callum McGregor coming off as he continues his recovery from that calf injury. Gives the armband to Carter Vickers, and Paolo Bernardo will replace him. I think he's lasted almost 64 minutes, the captain.
Yeah, that's good. Listen, he hasn't had a big layoff, so he's come back and he looks really sharp again, involved in that first goal superbly with getting into position to be able to hit that pass from Maeda, but he's so critical to the team. But Bernardo will slot in there. He was missing obviously for the Rangers game also, so again it's good to get him back, to get himself up to a level of fitness from Celtic's perspective.
Celtic have it over on the right hand side. It's Engels back into his own half for Carter Vickers, who switches it to the left of the circle here for Nawrocki, out to Schlupp on the left, forward towards the Tatis. Misread it though, and it's won back by Forrester. Here's Beningame, infield to Devlin. Celtic 3-0 up here, knocking on 65 minutes. And to the left there with Harry Milne, to Penrice, forward there to Kabangu, gets it back to Beningame, knocks it forward first time to Penrice, back to Nielsen, and to the left for Milne, and then to Nielsen. It's the longest I think Hearts have had the ball in the second half. And he breaks down through Cammy Devlin on the far side, battling to win it back. He's done enough to force it forward to Kabangu. Kabangu attacking Carter Vickers, only Shanklin in the middle right now, and he's got the cross in. It's a bit too much on it for Shanklin. Did really well, Elton Kabangu there. Kept alive by Forrester, right hand side of the box. Back to Steinwender, out to Forrester. Infield to Neuenhoff, and the turn away from Jota, and then back to Steinwender, who goes back into his own half for Nielsen. It's better from Hearts.
Yeah, better possession. I think definitely, the lesson probably for the manager is that if you're going to come up against Celtic, you've got to match them in the middle of the pitch. You've got to have legs in there. You've got to have guys who are going to almost be able to track players. And that's maybe where they fell down with giving Lawrence Shanklin a role in there just to try to do that. And I don't think he's got the legs to do that, and I don't think he's got the defensive mind to do that also. And it allows Celtic then to be able to play through them and around them.
There's not too many teams take until match day 9 to win a league game and end up fighting for a top 6 place just before the split. That's where Hearts' season's been. That after their best points haul last term since 05-06. In the tumultuous days of that season. Schlupp has it, rolls it back to Nawrocki. Square ball for Carter Vickers, and then out to Johnston over on that far side. 3-0 Celtic here, Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1, Hibs 2, St Johnstone 0, and St Mirren have gone 4-0 up.
Wow.
Kilmarnock. And that will be their first win over Killie since 2021 when Jim Goodwin was their manager.
Wow, and
what a way to do it.
What a win. 4-0. These games
4-0 and counting.
Yeah, and at this time of the season too, it's such an important 3 points, but it's also psychologically going into the last couple of games before the split. They have a chance, have they, St Mirren also?
Yeah. It's
It's not gone.
Not gone, no. And Mark O'Hara's got their 4th, 2 from Boyd Muntz, 1 from Edo's penalty. And that would take them to within a point of Hearts. So St Mirren very much in the mix right now. Motherwell remaining in the mix. Ross County will hope to remain in the mix when they host Dundee United tomorrow, which will be live here on BBC Radio Scotland with Sports Sound.
Yeah, I think St Mirren have got, is it Dundee and Ross County, I think, maybe to play, which is, you know, not up against any of the big teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
perceived big teams.
A 3rd top 6 finish in a row would be a real feather in the cap for Stephen Robinson. Celtic have it here with Schlupp to Hatate. He goes back to Nawrocki. So Khartoum and Grant will be coming on for Hearts in the final quarter of the game, which we are now into. Bernardo in the centre circle finds Carter Vickers, and then back to Bernardo into the Hearts half, rolls it forward to Maida. Now Engels, blocked there by Steinwender. Breaks to Nielsen, forward to Kabangu, misunderstanding with Shanklin though. Now it's with Alistair Johnston on the right hand side. Back for Carter Vickers, sweeps it out to Johnston over there on the far side touchline. Long ball there, chases on. Looked as though he didn't quite keep it in. No, he didn't, Engels. It's come behind for the goal kick to Hearts, and it will stay Celtic 3, Hearts 0.
Yeah, he likes that little run though, doesn't he? Engels, that sort of almost from an inside right position, just getting in between the centre half and the full back. That time the ball ran away on him and he couldn't make contact.
Think ball clear by Steinwender up towards the halfway line. The header from Shanklin only to the benefit of Engels though. Back towards his own goal. It's now back in the Celtic half of Carter Vickers, who finds Bernardo. Bernardo with the ball, looking for Jota. He's found them as well. His countryman at the byline, left hand side of the box, but the offside flag's gone up against Jota, and it will stay at 3-0 to the home team with about, well, just over 20 of the 90 still to play. Here come the Hearts changes. In fact, a triple change. Spittle's there too. Celtic are going to throw on Adam Ida, and it might be Yang coming on too. Spittle, Grant and Khartoum come on for Beningame, Shankland and Devlin. And we'll see Ida, who got his 5th international goal, scored for the Republic of Ireland and brought a smile to Paddy Bonner's face.
Yeah,
he netted against Bulgaria and Dublin.
I was at the game, and he came off the bench in that second game and made an impact. Worked hard, ran the channel, got his goal, which was a real confidence booster for him. And it's going to be up against him or Evan Ferguson, who kind of almost plays in that position. Evan Ferguson hasn't been getting a lot of game at West Ham, but he scored also a very good goal in that game. But they're 2 big lads, and they'll be fighting out for that position. I think it will probably only go with the one up front most of the time.
Ireland securing their League B place in the Nations League, and we face Scotland, of course, in the next edition of that tournament next year. That's ages away now, though. Yang and Ida will come on for Maida, and will it be Jota or Kuhn? Looks like it's Kuhn, yeah. So Maida won't be getting his hat-trick, Packy, but it's another 2 goals, and he's the latest Celtic player to hit the 30 mark in a season.
Oh, it's fantastic return for, let's call him a winger more than a front striker. To score 30 goals is quite incredible, and he deserves all the plaudits he's getting coming off this pitch. And again, I did say that he had a big journey, and he's ended up coming back in and making an impact. But they're right to take him off and give him a little rest.
That might be on Brendan Rodgers' mind, actually. In fact, he started that game in Saitama the other night against the Saudi Arabians. Craig Gordon with the free kick. This is from that Jota offside call. And ball with the left foot. Underneath it is Schlupp. Forward, comes off the head of one of the Hearts players. Khartoum, and Kabangu might get the break of the ball in the box here, but Carter Vickers has reacted well, and Bernardo stabs it clear to Yang, who finds Hatate, who helps it on its way out to this near side for Schlupp. No ball in field for Bernardo. Left of the centre circle, gets it out to Johnston on the right hand side. looks up and looks to slip it through for Ida against Nielsen. Ida, right hand side of the box, chops back onto the left. He tried to find Yang, and it's cut out well by Nielsen. Just didn't have enough on the pass there, and it looked for all the money as though Celtic were going to be in for number 4. It stays at 3-0.
It was a good run down the side of Nielsen, and just cuts back and chops back inside, and then just tries to set up his colleague, and that, you know, striker, be greedy. 3-0 up, go for it.
5-0 St Mirren.
Wow.
Against Kilmarnock. Declan John, and there's still 20 odd minutes of that game to play.
How does that affect Kilmarnock?
Kilmarnock 0. Astonishing. Well, it affects Kilmarnock by pushing them towards a relegation dogfight, because they're currently only a point clear of Dundee, who host Rangers in the late kick-off, and St Johnstone, of course, are 6 points behind Killie at the moment. St Johnstone 2-0 down to Hibs. But that relegation playoff place could be anyone's, you know. That top 6 could have that final top 6 berth is a golden ticket, because you avoid all of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Skabangu picks up over on the left and then slips it back to Nieuwenhof into Nielsen. Yeah, if you can get into the top 6, you're looking at Europe. If you don't get in, you might yet get the tap on the shoulder.
I mean, you can beat 5-0. Psychologically, it's not a great one either at this stage of the season.
Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1, Hibs 2, St Johnstone 0. As I said, 5-0 St Mirren. Celtic cruising at 3-0 here against Hearts. All the goals coming in the first half. Dundee Rangers is a 5:30 kick-off, and that will be live here on Sports Sound as Dundee look for a first win since Neil McCann, one of the Rangers coaches, was their manager against Rangers. And Celtic pick up over on the far side with Johnston. He goes back to Carter Vickers, who finds Sinisalo. And with Nawrocki out to Schlupp. And back to Mike Nawrocki. Comfortable afternoon really for Nawrocki. It was actually quite a difficult opening 15 minutes for Celtic today, but they've overcome that and they've kind of cruised their way through the match since the opening goal, really.
Yeah, the battle actually was between Kabanga and Carter Vickers for most of that first 15 minutes, and so many fouls given away by Carter Vickers that put Celtic under some pressure, but Nawrocki didn't really have to defend really heavy in the game.
15 to play here. If you are heading to Dens Park, the lineups: Dundee, Rangers, Dundee of Carson in goal, McGee, Shaughnessy, Donnelly, Larkesh, Mulligan, Silla, Robertson, Adewumi, Tiffany and Murray. Rangers with Butlin in goal, Sterling, Suter, Balogun. Back 3, Tavernier, Yilmaz wide, Baron, Raskin in the middle with Diamonde ahead, and Egeman and Dessers leading the line. Those are the lineups in the 5:30 kickoff. Highlights of that game and this one and all the other ones in the Premiership this afternoon on Sports Scene at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, repeated later on in the evening on BBC One. Ross County, Dundee United to come tomorrow. Throw into Hearts on this near side, and it will be Forrester to take. He looks for movement in the Celtic half, and it's a comfortable header for Schlupp, and now it's Ida. Ida works it out to Johnston over on the far side. If they don't score any more goals, Brendan Rodgers will still be happy, but he'll want another couple today, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think listen, you know, the way that they've actually been able to bounce back.
Here's a chance, Johnston, right hand side of the box, trying to hold off Milne. Milne with the challenge, and actually it's a foul. Looked like the assistant on the far side was going to give Celtic the corner. It will be a Hearts free kick inside their own box. They continue to trail Celtic 3-0. The Championship, Ayr United have doubled their lead to lead Dunfermline 2-0. Neil Lennon's bow as Parr's boss against his old captain here. Morton 0, Partick Thistle 1 at Capello. An O'Reilly goal separating the teams there in the Championship, and Raith Rovers leading Hamilton by 3 goals to 0 now. Hamilton 0, Wraith 3. That is the championship. The Challenge Cup final tomorrow, of course, which is why there's just the 3 fixtures today. Ida gives chase and wins the throw-in off Nielsen on the far side, level with the Hearts penalty spot. League 1, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 2, Annan 1, Kelty 1, Arbroath 1, Cove 0, Queen of the South 3, Cali Thistle 1. They've come from behind to lead the Doonhamers there. Stenhousemuir 1, Montrose 3. In League 2, Bonnyrigg 0, Elgin 1, East Fife 2, Spartans 2. It remains goalless for Peterhead. Stirling Albion 2, Edinburgh City 1, and 0-0 between Stranraer and Clyde. Highlights of all the SPFL lower league matches available at the website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland on Monday morning and on the iPlayer. Carter Vickers with the cushion header out to this near side. Jota gets onto it, goes back towards his own keeper. Sinisalo's not going to get there. It's going to be a misplaced pass by Jota, and out for a Hearts throw-in. Level with the Celtic 18-yard line on this near side as Hearts try and tap the goal to the right, but they've been doing precious little of that as Forrester's chopped to the ground, and it will be a free kick to Hearts on this near side. Celtic 3, Hearts 0.
Yeah, it gives them an opportunity. I think this is the first free kick they've really had in a position in the second half that they can threaten Celtic's sort of back line of defence. In the first half, in the first 15 minutes, they probably had 3 or 4 in really good positions, but this is the first.
Aberdeen have gone 3-1 up against Motherwell at Pittodrie. And about 12 or 13 to play there. Spittle with the free kick, it's dreadful, and it's easily away by Bernardo. Spittle's capable of so much better than that. Celtic have it with Bernardo, works it out to Hitate, and now they're flooding forward in green and white. Hitate looks for the big switch out to Ida, he's found them as well from left to right. Ida has it level with the Hearts 18-yard line out, the right angle in the box. Rolls it back to Johnston. A bit of movement there on that right hand side from Engels, comes back here to Bernardo, he gets away from a couple of maroon shirts, rolls it forward, gets it back there. Engels to Yang, Engels with the back heel, Yang can't get onto it, Nielsen knocks it out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, that was a terrible free kick from Spittle there. You know, he's all the big guys up from the back, and you know, they have a chance maybe to put it into the danger area. It doesn't even get past the first player, which is dreadful.
And the player coming off is number 7.
Kevin Nisbet got that third Aberdeen goal, he's into double figures for the season. Jota will come off. James Forrest, who's been out for some time, is going to come on. Luke McCowan will also come on to replace Hitate. So James Forrest coming back at just the right time as he looks to become Celtic's most decorated player ever. The league medal, of course, is just about in the bag, but he'll hope for the Scottish Cup as well, and that would be quite incredible.
Yeah,
he's not played since the League Cup final in December. Forrest, he's back.
It's incredible. And listen, he's such a good player, and he's such an intelligent player now, experienced. To get him back is again like another signing coming in, you know, during the season. Obviously, his fitness is the big thing at this moment in time.
Well, he's getting older, isn't he?
Yeah.
It happens to us all. He's 33 now, 24 major honours, needs just one more to match Bobby Lennox. If you assume Celtic win the title and they are going to move 16 clear of Rangers again, having played a game more, the title will be here again in a couple of games' time. It's then all about getting a Scottish Cup winners medal, and he becomes Celtic's most decorated ever.
How many games do you have to play in a season now to get a medal, or does everybody get it?
Surely you've got a better idea of that than me.
Well, it used to be
multiple title winner
here. It used to be something like 10 or 12 or something of that. I didn't have to worry about it too much, to be honest.
First name on the team sheet, of course, as Nawrocki knocks it out to this left-hand side for Sloop. Roy Aitken was the first name in the team sheet here.
That's it, he was.
Here's Carter Vickers out to Johnston on the right for Celtic, passes it across the halfway line. We've got about 8.5 to go of the 90. This game was done at half-time though, as Yang flicks it with the outside of the boot, but he's given it straight to Milne and trying to pick up his Khartoum, but he loses it, and it's now with Sloop who finds Bernardo. No ball with the side foot out to Forrest on this near side. Starting in his less favourite left flank here, James Forrest is coming on. Yang over on the other side. There's Johnston infield to Bernardo. He's found McCowan in space. McCowan out wide left for Forrest. Going to make an impression here. Drops the shoulder, pulls it across really well, and it bounces off a Hearts defender, Nielsen, and behind for a Celtic corner. Really good from Forrest.
Yeah, and it was good from Bernardo also. Picked the ball up in McGregor's normal position because he's playing in there, and picked a beautiful pass into McCowan between 2-3 players, and sets up Forrest down his left hand side.
Yeah, corner will be taken by Engels on the Celtic left. Attacking the goal to the left. In from Engels to the near posts, met in the head there by Spittle, goes up into the air. Gordon tries to punch, gets it half away. Nawrocki with a volley down into the ground is blocked. Hearts boot clear again. Schlupp with the header back towards the Hearts penalty area, and Carter Vickers nods it out to the right of the box, and it's going to go behind harmlessly for the goal kick, and it will stay Celtic 3, Hearts 0 on 83. And many Celtic supporters have seen enough, Packy. They've loads of empty seats inside the stadium now.
Yeah, listen, they'll get away early, they'll get home or go for a refreshment somewhere on the way home, and they'll be very happy that they've got the 3 points, and a 3-0 one against Hearts any day is a good return. Considering when we did obviously comment on it at the start of the game, 15 minutes, they were pinned back, and Hearts took risks. They pinned them in there. They were probably had that big chance that they could have went ahead, and then the Celtic just then won the thing so easily by just working the ball through the thirds of the pitch with pace and power. And then the finish, clinical when they got the opportunities.
Alan Forrest's going to be on to take on his brother for the last few minutes shortly. I'm hearing Ayr United goes 2-0 up on Dunfermline. I'm hearing Victor Wanyama has been sent off on his debut for the Pars.
Wow, there we go. Timing maybe, timing issue, fitness.
Dunfermline need to sort themselves out, that's for sure. It's too big a club to be in such a state. It is James Forrest on this near side, rolls it back to Schlupp. In the Celtic half, square ball back to Nawrocki, and then to Carter Vickers, and then to Nawrocki again. Short to the left for Schlupp. I mean, you can kind of understand the fans heading for the exits. The game is done, but it's been played like a training match in the second half. Really, Ida tries to keep it in play at the byline. He's done so. Looks to pull it back to Yang. Cut out there by Forrester. Well, there's an offside flag. In any case, it will stay Celtic 3, Hearts 0. With around about 5 minutes to the 90 to play, and Alan Forrest is going to replace Elton Kabangu. Hasn't had a chance today, Kabangu, to keep his good goal scoring form going, but he'll be looking to get back on track. They face Dundee United and Motherwell in their 2 pre-split matches, and you would say there, despite that walloping that St Mirren have given Kilmarnock this afternoon, and Ross County obviously still in the mix there, Motherwell, despite the fact it looks like they're going to lose at Pittodrie. You'd put Hearts as favourites to secure that final top 6 place, would you?
Would you? I'm just wondering, it's all about who they have to play. We talked about St Mirren having a couple of games to play, and they're still not out of it, and 6 points could really put them in a really good position. But it's going to be a fight. It's going to be very, very tight. It's going to be a fight to the end, which is great in many, many ways.
Well, it's even tighter if Ross County win that game against Dundee United tomorrow, because that would put them in 38, and it would mean that you've got 5 teams separated by 2 points for 2 top 6 places.
Yeah. What 2 games is it before the split? Yeah.
Nawrocki for Celtic, and out to Schlupp. Forward it comes to McCowan. Out muscled there by Nieuwenhof. Khartoum tries to pass it forward, it's cut out, but makes back to Khartoum, and back to Milne, short ball to Spittle, and back to Nielsen, and out to Forrester, who goes back to Steinwender. His ball forward, charged down by James Forrest, but it will bounce behind for the goal kick to Hearts. And he's wanting to take some small crumb of comfort from this match. It's the fact that it looks, and we know Celtic's penchant for late goals, it looks as though Hearts will at the very least not have conceded in the second half, though there is still a few minutes to play.
It's very difficult though when you get beat 3-0 to pick positives. You know, he took a chance early on, it didn't probably work because suddenly they lost 2 goals. Second half they're a bit more conservative, just drop back a little bit more. Maybe that was the way to go, but you set your tactics out, your strategy, you hope that it's going to work, but up against Celtic it's very, very difficult, and that so difficult to take a lot of positives out of it, but you have to manage the team and get them through the next couple of games.
Spittle rolling it back away to Milne, to Spittle. Ball forward cut out by Yang, but he gets it back fortuitously and hits it long down that left hand side. Alan Forrest with a little touch, low ball into the area. Milne's found himself inside the Celtic box. His effort at goal's blocked, still alive. Alan Forrest, left hand side of the penalty area. Then back out to Penrice, controls, his cross is cut out by Carter Vickers. In truth, it wasn't a great ball.
There's one man that doesn't want to lose a goal here today, and that's Sinisalo. You know, he hasn't had much to do in the second half. Had that big save in the first half. Has got involved in the passing part of Celtic's game quite well, and that. But he wants to get his debut over him, and from a league perspective, and have a clean sheet. That's always a nice way to start your Celtic career.
Yeah, his only other appearance being the cup tie against Wraith Rovers here, the start of last month. Hearts give it away, and Adam Eade has evaded the challenge on the right hand side of Nieuwenhof. Only James Forrest in the middle. McCowan and Yang arriving now. Eade challenged well over on the far side though, it's fair to say, by Lewis Nielsen. And down the line for Alan Forrest, who loses out to Carter Vickers, and it will be a free kick to Hearts on the halfway lines. The closing stages across the board. Kilmarnock have pulled one back, they though trail St Mirren 5-1. Aberdeen 3, Motherwell 1. Hibs 2, St Johnstone 0, as it has been for quite some time. Here 3-0 to Celtic, as it has been for quite some time. In the Championship, Ayr 2, Dunfermline 0, Morton 0, Partick Thistle 1, Hamilton 0, Wraith Rovers 3. These matches all, if they're not in stoppage time, they're very close to it. League 1, Alloa 2, Dumbarton 3. Looks like Dumbarton have snatched that one. Annan 2, Kelty 1, Arbroath 1, Cove 0, Queen of the South 4, Cally Thistle 1, and Stennismuir 1, Montrose 3. In League 2, Bonnyrigg 0, Elgin 1, East Fife 4, Spartans 2. Great comeback there by the Fifers, who were 2-0 down in that game. Forfar 0, Peterhead 0. So Peterhead struggling to make the breakthrough there at Station Park. Stirling Albion 2, Edinburgh City 1, and Stranraer 1, Clyde 0. That game kicked off late as we go into the first of 3 minutes here. And as I mentioned earlier, the lower league highlights will be available at the BBC Sports Scotland website and the iPlayer on Monday morning. Midas named sponsors man of the match. He got 2 of the 3 Celtic goals. He's on to 30 for the season. He's now just 4 behind Kyogo Furahashi's best goal scoring season here.
I think it's a few man of the match, isn't it?
Well,
it's building up. I don't know what you get for man of the match, but certainly whatever it is, it's building up in his house anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest compliment you can pay Daizen Maeda is that Celtic haven't missed Kyogo a jot.
No, he's fitted in well into that position, but you know, he has flipped from playing out in the left to going through the middle and that. But
he's scoring goals from out there as well, though, wasn't he?
Yes, that's the point I was going to make. You know, and it's not all goals that through the middle, and that out of that 30 goals, a lot of them has come from almost a wide left position, but his pace to get in on the end of things and be there at the back post also is probably down to his speed and quickness and alertness and intelligence.
I'm not sure he's got a mantelpiece round his gaff, but if he does, it's going to be full to the brim in a couple of months' time, I would suggest.
What do they have in Japan? What's the equivalent to a mantelpiece?
I'm sure, yeah. He's not living in Japan, of course.
No, but he would probably set up his house very much like his own culture.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. The sloop here for Celtic. And Nawrocki plays it square there to Carter Vickers, out to Johnston. As Aberdeen go 4-1 up on Motherwell, and Kevin Nisbet's got his second of the game.
Yeah, that's a big result for Aberdeen too, and also from Motherwell's perspective, losing 4 goals, you know, it's getting into that real vital part of the season.
Kevin Nisbet back in form, that's for sure. You see all these goals in sports scene this evening. We're ticking through the latter part of the stoppage time here with Celtic 3-0 up. And as Bernardo goes back to Nawrocki, low ball out to Sloop on this near side. He's found Bernardo, switches it left to right of the centre circle there for Carter Vickers, and out to Johnston. And Johnston over to Yang on the far side, flicks it with the outside of the boot. Engels trying to get onto it, met first there though by Nielsen. It's actually pretty accomplished today, Lewis Nielsen, and he could so easily have put Hearts in the lead in those opening exchanges when they were very good.
Yeah, they've settled down a bit in the second half. I think they were caught for a couple of the goals, the speed of Celtic in that forward line, but they've settled down.
That's it, all over. Easy as you like for Celtic in the end. 2 from Maida, 1 from Jota in the first half. Hearts started well, but fell away when Maida opened the scoring. The second half was a bit of a procession. It finished here at Parkhead. Celtic 3, Heart of Midlothian 0. The champions 16 clear.